Hello, sixth graders. This is a video tutorial of how you need to present your reading evidence from now on for Bushido, the novel. The first thing that you need to remember is to please take a look at the chronogram. We're going to have some chronograms for part number 1 and also number 2, which is basically the last 2 weeks of September and October as well. Hopefully, we will finish by October the 28th. So please remember to check this in Google Classroom in the section of Anuncios, okay? How are you going to present the evidence starting from Monday and Tuesday next week? Every week, you have to present a fishbone of the chapters that you have read. Every week, we are going to be reading 3 chapters. So how are you going to make the fishbone per week? I will be explaining only with one example, okay? But this is what you gotta do every single time you read one of the chapters in Bushido. I'm going to explain the one that we worked during class time, which were Introduction, Chapter 1, and part of Chapter number 2. So what I'm going to do is what you're going to do on your own time at home. The first thing that you need to understand is that the fishbone has 3 sections. You see, 1, 2, 3. And it's called a fishbone because it has a fish, like the shape of a fish, and the bones of the fish. Usually a fishbone is used for causes and consequences. But in here, we're going to use it for thesis statements or the most important ideas of the text, the ones that you are going to infer, and down you're going to put the supporting idea to that thesis statement. How do you do that? Every single time you finish reading a chapter, right, carefully, you don't have to highlight or underline this time, but it's optional if you must do it. Okay, the only thing that I'm going to check per week is the fishbone. That's it. The fishbone needs to be pasted on the book. That's going to be the reading evidence. So after you finish the chapter, for example, let's suppose that I finish reading Introduction. In the first part of the introduction, they say that the dad of Nintendo was a retainer. What does this mean? A retainer was a person that provided military services to a lord or to a person in power. My thesis statement, it says, what is my thesis statement? The dad of the author was a retainer. In parentheses, I put military services. And this was an inspiration for Nintendo. What was the inspiration? Look at the supporting idea that is down, okay? He was a pacifist and he did not agree with feudalism. And we can see that in the rest of the book as well, because they're talking about values, not about violence, not about war, but something that goes beyond, something that transcends, that is going to stay in a culture. So this is how I did the thesis and the supporting evidence or the supporting idea. The thesis is my most important idea. And how do I support that? With the supporting idea, okay? Every single time you finish a chapter, just remember the most important ideas. You can make notes, bullet notes, but I'm going to check in this format your evidence. So this is all. I hope you guys read and remember to read at home and make the fishbowl. Bye-bye.